Thrand here, and I'm here with the Cairo Flare. It's an 8-foot bullwhip, the Cairo style, out of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Matter of fact, I've been into whips, most people don't know this, since Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark time period, since I was the size of short round. I've always owned whips. Ever since I was about like 11 or 12, I got a whip, and I've been playing with them. I am not a whip master, but this whip makes me look like one. I'm sorry. It is excellent. It's by Blake Bruni at Trinity Whip Co. You can find that on Facebook. Yep, and he has all kinds of whips. He does work for stuntmen. He does works for movies. He does work for, I mean, anybody, just you if you want a whip. So be sure and check him out. Today we're going to test everything you can possibly do with a whip. I got carried away in the last video testing ballistic shell because I am an experimental archaeologist is what I'm considered. I mean, I do that in the backyard, and I do that for fun, and I hope you all enjoy it. But today, we're going to see what all I can do with this whip and how much fun we can have. And I think this video is going to be much better than the other one. You can watch the other one if you want to really get into the nerdy detail, or you can stay tuned and watch what we do today. And let's get going. Ooh! We didn't go through the center of the apple, but we took the top of the apple off. Pretty clean slice. Not bad. Oh! Well, that was an explosion. Look at that, it exploded. So yeah, the impact is really hard. Ooh, there we go, in half. There was our apple cut. And it cut it clean in two. Beautiful. It left the stem that grows down inside of it, all of that. We got the apple cut. We cut our apple right here. The impact exploded the top and then took it clean off. It's a beautiful cut. It's really hard to hit right on with this much stand, but we still pulled it off. Ooh, that was nice. It looks like, because I don't want to hit the stand and try to get past this edge, that may be the best we're going to be able to do. I don't know. I keep taking the top clean off. That was a beautiful cut. Clean through. All the layers of the steak. Ah. One more for good measure. Oh, there we go. Nice cut. Oh. Okay. Oh, nice. Took 2 hits, but I got it. And we cut it clean off. Not bad. First hit, I didn't hit it solid enough. Second one, I get right off. That's how everybody can see. We got 3. Oh, there we go. We cut the can. The trick you always see where they cut the can, we were able to do it. Yow! We got the can. That was good. That was good. We got the can cut. Unfortunately, I think this is our only can, but that leads us into more things. Also, just going to test, will Indiana Jones's whip kill? Is the point at the end, is it really that deadly when you get hit with the cracker or the popper at the end? That's what we want to find out. What can it do? We're going to try something no one's else tried. We've seen that Shad just put out a video and he did a lot of things real similar to like Mythbusters, but he did his own Mythbusters and more extensive than they ever did. So you might want to go by there and check that out. Stuff I'm not testing today. I don't have multiple people or means to do so. But check him out. It's a great video. Mine came out a little later than his. I meant to get it out sooner, but I was having trouble getting it together under the circumstances we're in right now. If anybody wants to do our spot fun, be sure and go down and look below. It is there. We can still use the help most certainly. But we're going to go ahead and test this today against ballistic shell and explore ways this whip could be extremely deadly. I mean, would it be a self-defense weapon? I would say yes, but we want to see how effective it would be. We don't condone in hitting people, animals, and use safety. If you get a whip and you want to learn how to use it, research it, learn about it, don't get hurt with it. We're not saying try this at home. Right, don't try this at home. But all we're saying is we are going to get going, we're going to test this out, and we're going to see how deadly Indiana Jones's whip truly can be. And hopefully they don't call the wolves on me again if I go for the side layer. All right, we are now going to try our ballistics gel. That's our anticipated test. I've never seen anyone else do analog ballistics gel. This is 10% gel like the FBI would use for pistols, not 20% like people use for rifles. A lot of times for cutting, if small pieces of gel are used, 20% is used. So our heads are normally a little bit stronger than this, but this is actually probably more like an actual flesh medium, like getting hit in skin or what have you, and that's what everybody talks about. It can cut the skin open on the first hit possibly. On other hits it might go into, they say muscle internal organ. I don't know. We're going to figure that out. We've got a piece of ballistics gel here. Like I said, it's 10% gel, and we've got a camera, a high-speed camera, so hopefully we can see what happens. And the trick is I have to crack this and make sure that the supersonic hit is right at the right moment. Not when it totally straightens out, but right before it straightens out, it's got to wallop it with this end piece. It's got to hit it. I've got knots tied in here like if you were cutting cans with it. We're going to see if it can actually cut into the gel. So I purposely made the cracker or popper on the end a little more, I guess, abrasive, hoping that we'll get a good result. So let's go ahead and get going and see what we can pull off. Ooh, that was a good one. That looked like a good one. I can't tell, but it looked like a good one. That's the deepest one so far. It's about a half an inch. So the whip, if you look down at an angle, shine it down, it cut in about a half an inch, the very tip as it went through. You can see the incision, right? So a half an inch cut is something. I mean, in the throat, you could possibly get to an artery, maybe the what people like to call the jugular, but it's not the jugular, it's the carotid artery. Possibly rupture it or injure it. We have something above me, so it makes it harder to do certain things. So, but we're using an 8-foot whip, and that's the whole reason why we're using the Cairo flare. It's the one that Indy used for all his fight scenes. This Lynx, a whip, an 8-foot whip, was what he used in all the fight scenes like in Cairo, and so that's why it's called the Cairo flare. It was supposed to be used in the marketplace. Famous scene where he shot somebody with a pistol. Actually, he had dysentery. He was supposed to have a full fight scene with a sword in one hand and a whip in the other and show off his skills. But he just said, let's shoot him. Ooh. Ooh. That looked like a good one. That looked like a good one. Let's just go ahead and examine what we got. I'm thinking at a certain point, like we've got the 1/4 inches here and stuff, you can see they're definitely 1/4 inches. I'll show some, I'll get something to stick in there to show you. But look here, split the gel, because it actually split it from the impact. That's how hard it hit. It split the gel. That means like hitting somebody, like punching them. And then we've got a nice gash in here. So I think some of the impact is actually, it's actually, I'm not trying to exaggerate this, I'm just trying to spread it so you can see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get something real quick. We don't want to stick anything in here too sharp, but what we want to do is stick something in that'll go in the depth it went in to see the distances. That's a good 1/4 inch right there. It's going in at least this deep. So we're getting wounds like that. That one's not quite as deep, about 1/8 of an inch. It goes up to 1/4 here. That's when it split it. It hit toward the top, and it actually literally, I didn't hit it that angle. It ruptured the gel from the impact. Now we go over here. This is one of the best ones we had. That one's almost a half inch deep, correct? You can see it when I stick that in there, right? Okay. This one's the same. It took a chunk out. We have a lot of these that are pretty deep. I would not want to be hit like that, would you? Oh, we cut a piece of gel clean off. That was nice. That was nice. What happened is, that's our deepest cut so far. Because this shows the depth of the cut here. It went through here, tore the gel from the impact, and we got a cut coming out here about a half an inch, correct? Mm-hmm. So it's showing it's doing exactly what we thought it would do, that it could cut into flesh. So That is impressive.
That is good.
I saw one that looked unbelievable. Let's check it out though. One looked like it hit really good. I don't know if anybody saw that, but this one here took a good chunk out. And it's in at least a ½ inch. And then this one, well, this one's for earlier, correct? I think that was from earlier, but this took a chunk out where it hit. So yeah, the power crack is hitting way harder. It's me in a really tight location. I got a tree right here to the right of me, just so everybody knows, and one right here I can hit with the whip. So, like I just took off a branch with it. Sorry. Oh, there was a good one on the top. Oh, that might have been a money shot there. I don't know. These cut like all the way down here at an angle. Taking bullets, these took ballistic shell off here at an angle. This one came at an angle too. I think I hit it over here too. We're getting the same kind of cuts. And a rupture we got from an impact. I'm gonna say that, yeah, this definitely will cut into human flesh and you'd bleed out. Now, how much? It just depends. If you didn't stop the bleeding, it tears flesh out, it makes incision-like cuts, and it causes bruising. I would say the splitting shows bruising. And depending on how much flesh it hits and how tough it is, because remember towards the edge it has a little less, you know, it's easier to push it up and tear it while it's trying to cut into it. So it can do more than it can in lower areas and regions like you see here. That was like our ½ inch cut and it split, literally split the gel. You can see the rupture and you see all this. This is definitely like here. That's definitely the tip. That was just the tip that cut in there. It's the very tip of the whip that cracked. That's probably one of our deepest cuts. It's about a ½ inch deep. Try not to push it further open. I'm just trying to show the opening. That's at least in its deepest spot about a ½ inch. So now over the neck, maybe like some people say, you might hit the artery or the artery. An eye would definitely put out. Cloth like this or a shirt, I definitely think you could cut through it and cause somebody to bleed out profusely. Ooh, that was a good one. All right. Yes, it cut all the way to the bone when it hit over the bone. So the bone does make a difference. The problem is we did not anticipate the gel actually flying off our pedestal. We actually totally lost the gel. It just ripped it off over the bone. Where it was very, very thin, it just ripped it off. And we do have a cut into the gel. See if we can get a better cut. This makes it more solid too, so the gel can't give like it normally would. Oh, that was a nasty hit. That was a nasty hit. Let's see what we got here. And this is not a special, it cut all the way to the bone like I thought it would, over the bone. It cut pretty deep. That's at least a ½ inch past the bone when it cut near the bone. So like I thought, my assumption was if you have flesh over a bone or near a bony area, it's going to cut to the bone is what's going to happen. You're going to get a cut all the way to the bone of the bone, basically, because the flesh can't give. So that's all the way to the bone. Oh, we got another hit. I saw the whole thing move, so we know it hit. I don't know if that one actually hit the same way. It did, but it hit low. This is it here, right? We also have a hit that hit here, so it's hard to tell. We try not to lose our gel because it's harder to see the actual damage. This one is actually in at least a ½ inch, or not deeper. So it seems like we're going to keep getting the same thing. Nasty one. But you can see this is all the way to the bone here and gets up to about a ½ inch and then slowly then over here. I had to clean it off carefully, everyone. And then this goes all the way to the bone here. So it's in at least about a ½ inch. We can prove that. And that is about a ½ inch. And it's the same thing. It slowly bleeds out. And then we've got one here, and we've got gashes here and here. And this was not a special abrasive cracker or popper. It didn't have a bunch of knots tied in it. So these are very incision-like if you look at it, the cuts we have. So yes, I would say over a bone, it cuts to the bone. Because then the flesh or the gel, in this case gel, it would be flesh on a person or
what have you, skin over bone, can't give really, so it's more likely to cut in deeper, and you can honestly see that. And so my theory was right. I wanted to retry it with the same gel, but actually put a bone in it, and that's what we get.
Oh, we got a nice hit on it. Yeah, it's but I don't know if it would come apart on its own if it had something else to hold it together. I don't know if that's the best part to be hitting. Be better off hitting the back, but it's very difficult to hit from the stand we have for this. Correct?
Yeah.
That's the only problem I'm seeing.
But it would do damage.
Oh, yeah, I think so. That was terrible. It is tearing into me. Obviously, I tore this because that's possible to tear because it's just connective tissue. But this is a cut into the meat that's going in at least an inch. That went in about an inch right here. You can easily see that.
I think we're good done tasting this.
I think it's turning out just like the gel. Is harder to tell because as it cuts itself apart, it gapes open where the gel doesn't do that. It stays tightly sealed. So it's hard to see it, but this one you can see that would not be good in your throat or something. If I can stick my fingernail all the way in, that would be bad to hit somebody with it, I swear. Because this is meat. I'm sorry, but that is an Indiana Jones entanglement. I'm sorry, I didn't plan on doing that. I messed up, cracked it behind it instead of hitting it. I was standing too close. But if everybody wants to see what happens if it gets entangled, we cut the paper, but we also, because it didn't hit it, it just didn't hit it properly. So instead of getting a cut, we got like an Indiana Jones entanglement, just like if you would have in the movie, got it around a gun barrel or something small or something on the person. That's what it was. It was a whip knife, and that wouldn't come apart easily. That's why we were able to just yank it off. That was just awesome. All right. Now, as you see, we've got tension on this, and if you go at a slight up angle, like when you do it, you let your whip ride up slightly. As you're doing it, it's a slight angle where the whip goes up, not underneath. And you put tension on it. As you see, it'll eventually come loose, but if you pull the tension just at the right time, you can have tension on it and it will be a tight whiplash. So Shad tried it and they were saying it wasn't easy to do. It's not super easy, but it is plausible to get used to doing it and be able to do it repetitively. That didn't crack, but it should. It didn't crack, but see how it's on top? It sort of does that and wraps around itself. So we've got a really strong attachment there. So now we see we got a good one here, but notice it's so much tighter when it pops, and when it pops you want to be sure and pull tension on it. So the skill of gripping something with a whip and pulling it to you, it might not be plausible to swing on it. I mean, possibly if you actually have it on there good, I mean, that's pretty good, but I don't know if I'd trust this with my body weight. I mean, I could pull somebody to me, I could pull something out of somebody's hand, and yeah, I just don't know if I would trust the whip. I mean, maybe to pull yourself up, or if you were dragging behind something, but it could eventually get loose. But we've got a good one, and it is possible to do it on purpose. It's like the Kasari Gama. I taught that where you swing down and under it, it comes up and loops over itself, the chain. So basically that's what we've got. And how it works, you want the whip to wrap over itself. And I use the whip too, thinking of the situation one, if you really want to pull somebody or something. And a person's bigger around, so it might not work. You know, you might hit their other leg if you're aiming at a leg. This might work on a wrist. But then to get it loose, you know, that's the problem. When you get that good of a whiplash, you would have to sit here and work it to get it loose. And I also have a chair there to show that that didn't really make a difference, but yeah. Oh, we got an apple. Oh, too low, too low.
Good stand.
Oh, we got 2 pimples at once. Yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. We got 2. At this point, we're just having fun. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Whoa! There we go. We cut lots of papers. Alright. Got cut paper everywhere. All of them cut. That was fun. Sorry about the weird outro, but I am hot. I feel like I'm Indiana Jones in Cairo, meaning the heat's killing me. This is Texas heat right now. They're having a heat wave, heat advisory. I could supposedly die out here, but I've been taking lots of breaks, wearing my hat like I needed to. Not a piff hat, but it's a hat. Trying to stay cool. But I think we had fun today. Sorry if this was a little haphazard, but this, who knows what was going to happen. I'm not a whip master, just coming in to hit stuff. And that's basically what I did. So I don't know if we hit apples dead on, or doesn't look like we hit any of them dead on.
Might have been just below and knocked them up.
Oh, there's one over here. Oh, we almost went completely through an apple. So I hit it, but just not just right. We got to cut into it. Hope you all enjoyed everything. This was a fun time. Be sure to check out Blake Bruni. And remember, the main reason I did this out of love for Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's when I started watching Indiana Jones. And that's what the video is about, is just how deadly is his whip, or how dangerous it is. And this one more, what can his whip do? I think we showed a lot of things. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will be back with maybe some other things. I want to test maybe hitting people with the, this is, I've had to explain it. This is steel in here. If you was to hit somebody with it, you could lay somebody out. I don't want to do it in this video because this is what that video is about. If you need to grapple, I don't know if you all guys can see this, but we've got like all the kinds of potential to parry, grab necks, stuff like that. This thing would work. I mean, you could use it like I've done with the Kusari Gama with Elgrim back in the day, if you remember that. I'll show a few scenes of that. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video. Sorry about the long-winded outro, but I was having fun. Sorry, I had to finish with something fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure and watch the other video if you want an intense, detailed video of just hitting the gel and different methods and seeing what it did with different crackers with like lots of knots. This was just for, this is not what I used for cut this stuff before. This was just a standard one for like whip shows and making noise. So didn't have an extra long knots. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. See you later, and far better.